Welcome back to the Don't Frett Podcast, where I don't want you to fret about what I say, but I do want you to think about it. Today is going to be an interesting episode. Today is one of these episodes that I have wanted to, I won't say that I wanted to touch on it, but I wanted to touch on it. It's such a layered thing. It's something that is extremely interesting to me. It's something that is very sensitive for me. And so that's why I got on my cozy fit today, because I said, you know what? I got to give them cozy because this is going to be very uncomfortable. So I said, let me give them something a little more cozy. When I started on this journey of doing content, there was a few things that I just knew was going to happen. Just like off the bat, I knew what was going to come with the territory. And I knew some of the comments I was going to get before I got them. And one of those comments I knew were going to be about, are you gay? You sound gay. You look gay. You must be gay. Zesty, sassy. I knew in some way that was going to come up. Because it's come up my whole life. It's come up my whole life. And even as a child, I never understood it. And I think even to this day, there's a part of me that doesn't understand it. I didn't understand it as a kid for the same reasons that I don't understand it now. One, because I understand sexuality to be who and which you are attracted to, right? I understand it to be that. Do you also? Great. So if we're not having a conversation where I'm expressing to you who I'm attracted to, who I'm dating, who I'm liking, and your assessment that I must be gay or you sound gay is based on my voice, then your relationship with what sexuality is already from there skewed. And what's also really fascinating and interesting for me is, this might come off shady, but it's the truth. I'm Black and educated. And I say that to say that oftentimes I think that commentary comes from someone who is not. And it has always been fascinating to me, because this was me as a child and it's me today, of the whole you sound gay thing. And really what you are highlighting is my articulation, my well-spokenness, the way in which that I carry myself. And because it opposes what you expected for me to sound like and look like as a Black person, then that must mean that there's something questionable about it, especially for me as a Black man, because I do not lean into what you expected for me to be. And I say this to people all the time, especially within Black community, we have a really messed up idea of what a man is. And it breaks my heart that your idea of a man is this thing that was created by racists who wanted to put you in the box and define for you what Blackness really was, and you're trying to make what they've said about you be a true thing. Do you understand what I'm putting down? Y'all lean into this hood archetype, this thug thing, this aggression, this manly man ideology that is not only something that we as a people have not even created for ourselves. It was placed on us that y'all choose to live up to. But more importantly, it takes away your ability for you to just be you, navigate through the world, and figure out who it is that you want to be and how it is that you want to show up. And when those comments came my way, as I said, I was not surprised by them, but I think people said them in the hopes that they were disheartening to me, and they never were. I pitied you. I pitied you that I'm talking about what's wrong with society, and instead of talking about the task at hand, you spoke about something that was irrelevant to the conversation. I pity you. I pity you that you think talking about the pitch of my voice and trying to equate it to some sort of sexuality, you think that would be an insult to me. You think that would discourage me. I pity you. The commentary comes from both sides. And I don't know how to say it best, because I'm talking about the topic, and so you take from this, oh, that really must bother him. It doesn't. I pity you. And I'm saddened that we're at a place in the world where the inflation of someone's voice to you feels the need to be questioned and insulted. I pity you that you feel the need to have these type of conversations about somebody and they be irrelevant about the task at hand. I pity you that we live in a place in the world where you say that there is a gay agenda and that, you know, they're trying to push that thing on everybody, but then you as a self-proclaimed straight person feels the need to bring up people's sexuality any chance you get. I'm talking about politics here, and you asking in the comment, are you gay? Where's the relevancy? It's things like I pity. And when these things come up, I'm also like, sometimes I'm asked about, like, not even just how I feel about it and my mindset on it, but I'm asked about, with this being said, what is my relationship with the feminine and the masculine? I'm not delusional. I don't live in La La Land. I'm very much on earth with you. I say that to say I'm fully aware of what I sound like. I'm not delusional. I'm fully aware of my mannerisms. I'm not delusional. I'm fully aware of the get-ups that I put on. I'm not delusional. And I'm fully aware of the optics in the world that we live in. I'm aware of that. So I'm aware of what you think of me based on the snippets of moments that you get from me, because even in this hour or however long this episode is, this is a snippet of my life. This is not my life. This is a snapshot of me. This is not completely me. And what I choose to give you is decided based upon whether I choose to give it to you. If the episode comes out, it comes out because I have decided that it will. That's just how that works. I've done it once before. I've definitely come back in the studio the next day and refilmed something because I didn't like how that was. I choose to give to you what I give to you with the full understanding of how it is that you might take it. And so I'm aware of how I show up. I'm aware of what I give, and I'm aware of the response that may come from that. And so I get the question. I do. And I get when it comes from a place of real, genuine curiosity. But I also get when it comes from a place of you trying to hurt me and insult me, and you're hoping that by doing what you're doing, that it halts me from being me. I want you to tell you, I tell you this all the time. If you don't live as you are, you're not living at all. And I will never give you the power to stop me from living as me because you so feel that I shouldn't be. Everything that I am is everything that led to where I am today, and it leads to the success. Part of why y'all paused when y'all looked at a video is because you were shocked about the tone of my voice. I know. Am I lying? You see what I just did there? I know that. I know all that energy and all that passion and all that hand movement in the neck. And I know that all of those things were intrigue to you. And funny enough, they're not performative. It's who I am. It's who I'm forever going to be. It was a question as a kid and it's being grown and developed to me as an adult. And it is what it is. And it's just that real. My relationship with the masculine and feminine, I think, started for me as at conception. I have a lot of feminine energy, and I think the feminine energy is the way in which I look at the world. I'm very kind. I'm very compassionate. I'm very welcoming. I'm very, I don't know, I'm sweet, and I'm good to people, and I care, and I'm all of those things. And I think that leads into the feminine. And then I think it's the other things that the masculine comes out. You know, it's the, I am assertive. I am clear. I'm direct. The way that I feel about things. My passion. I'm firm on stuff. And I think that's where the masculine energy comes out. And I have such a balance. But the thing that is unfortunate about our society, and which I fail to realize, is that a lot of the things that you have equated with masculinity is a lot of the things that's wrong with the world. It should not be so that me being in my feminine is me expressing to you why I feel how I feel about something. It should not be that you're equating me being in my feminine by me expressing to you that what you're doing and saying to me has hurt me. And that is the thing with me, with y'all, that really gets on my nerves. And it goes back to this whole sassy and zesty conversation. I hated when this zesty and sassy trend started to come up because y'all are rewinding so much beautiful work that we've done in the world. I thought that what we wanted was to break the patriarchy. What I thought we wanted is to have more men that emoted. What we wanted was more men that felt, more men that expressed emotion. And it wasn't just the emotion of anger. It was the emotion of sadness. It was the emotion of pain. It was the emotion of hurt. And he was able to articulate it in his words and not just in his hands. I thought that's what the goal was here. And y'all sitting around trying to make young men and grown ass men feel bad about the ways in which they show up. Now he's zesty. Now he's sassy. Now he's less of a man when he's doing all the things that we once advocated for him to do. So now the zestiness is that he's saying to you what you said and did to me was fucked up. That's zest. It's bizarre to me that we're rewinding, trying to rewind all of the amazing progress that we have made as a society. Because when I saw this coming up, when I saw the shift in a man, I was like, well, to me, this is a really beautiful sign. I thought that this is what we worked towards. But now it seems something to insult. And one thing about a man that I know for certain, he cares a lot about how it is that he is perceived. And the minute that you insult him, and the minute that you let it be known that the way in which you are perceiving him is everything that he really is not, is the minute that he's going to retreat back to the old ways. He's going to retreat back to the ways his father acted. He's going to retreat back into the ways his granddad once acted with grandma. He's going to retreat back to the patriarchal behavior. And then you're going to sit around and cry about how much you wish we can get back to a good man. You had one, Savannah, but he's zesty and too sassy for you now. I don't really know what we're doing here. And so when I see the commentary, that's where it comes from. And that's why it's a dude right now who sits in front of you public facing, acting as if he is homophobic. And you think that's a turn on for you, that makes him a man. And then when you go in the crib and he says, I'm off with my bros, he's sleeping with that man. That was a man to you though, baby girl. That is why we live in a world where he will be in a crib with his bros for 6 hours for God knows what reason. That's why that he could speak to you any single way, but when he's around other dudes, he speaks to them with a level of respect. That's why he does not value you as a woman. He thinks your role is to cook and clean, not to be a human being who's in partnership with him. We've got accustomed to men who disrespect and dishonor other women, and for some reason we have morphed that and marketed that to be a real man. And when he is nothing but that, he's nothing like that at all, and he's everything that we advocated for, he's compassionate, he's gentle, he's graceful, he's open, he's communicative, he's willing to learn, he's in defense of you, he's willing to call you out and call other men out. His passion might come out in a certain way in the way he moves and speaks. And we can find insult and questionability in that. It's unfortunate. And what's so funny to me most of all is it proves to me that we as a people, I don't think y'all really have concept of sexuality at all, because it has nothing to do with the tone of one's voice. It has nothing to do with the way in which someone presents in their attire. A gay man sleeps with men. And unless you've had access to that bedroom, you fully don't know. A lesbian is a woman that sleeps with women. If you don't have access to that bedroom, you really don't know. And if you think that your indication is their voice and their outfit and who they hang around, then you're fully unaware of what it really means. And you are a gorgeous example of ignorance personified. The commentary does not hurt me. I pity you. And it breaks my heart that as a Black community specifically, you can watch a Black man come up, speak well, speak clearly, be emotional, be passionate, emote, throw all of those gorgeous things out of the window to ask a very silly question in order to get an answer that has nothing to do with your life. And the funny thing about it, actually it's not funny, this is the part that aggravates me the most, is that there's a subset of you who asked the question in order to delegitimize my story, in order to delegitimize my argument. There's been moments when I'm sitting around in defense of women, and then I'll have dumbass people come in the comment and say, what do you know? You're gay. What I want the straight community to do with gay community and trans community, because they don't go together, is I want you to understand that there is one thing that society has done that has really messed us up, and I hope that we can heal from. We're more alike than we are different. And y'all have this habit of trying to do the division thing in order to feel like what's happening over there does not apply to you, and what's happening over here does not apply to them, and that's not true. The way in which you navigate in relationship has an overlap from the way in which they navigate in relationship. The men in which you are having encounters with oftentimes are the same men they are having encounters with. The women that you are experiencing is oftentimes the same women that they are experiencing. I want y'all to stop doing this divide thing, because then y'all start to think that we have no connection, and then you start to other people's experiences when really you're othering what you know about and what they know about too. And the issue with othering within community and communities that you relate with is you put people in a box and you remove them from the box that they're really in before anybody is gay and straight. They are Black in this community. Am I lying? And y'all try to take people out because you feel a way about what you perceive to be a lifestyle. I am deeply and heavily in relationship with God. I speak to him on a daily basis. And my relationship with God is not like a lot of y'all relationship with God. I know God for real. I don't just know his greatest hits. I don't just know him when he's been good to me. I know him when I've asked him for mercy because he's been bad a lot. I know him when I was saying to him, God, please chill on me. I don't know how much more I can bear. But I also know him when I say, thank you, God, for giving this to me. You know, I've been praying for it. I have a real relationship with God. I don't just know him. I just don't know the greatest hits. I know him in totality. I'm in relationship with him. You see, when you are in relationship with somebody, you endure them even when they're getting on your nerves. When you're in relationship with somebody, you know them through the good days and through the bad. When you are in relationship with somebody, you love them even when you cannot stand them. There are days that I said, God, why did you do that to me? Still, I love that man. I know him even when I said, God, how could you let that happen to me? Still, I praised him. I was in relationship even with he gave me my dreams and my dreams came true. I said, God, I thank you for doing this for me. But I also was still in relationship with him when he snatched the dream away from me. I just don't know the greatest hits. I'm in real relationship. And so when y'all get over here and y'all do this thing to the people in community who are in relationship with him, and you try to give off this indication that you don't like folks because it's in a lifestyle, I want you to get something. Religion by definition is a lifestyle. And that goes back to being uneducated. Attraction is biology. What it is that you choose to worship is true lifestyle. And this is coming from somebody who is committed to the lifestyle of being a relationship with something much greater than me. For years, you could find me in church every Sunday. That was a lifestyle. One that I was extremely committed to. When I sit around and I do those videos and I say, I just got off the phone with God, I'm talking about my lifestyle that I'm truly committed to. I'm talking about the relationship that I'm in willingly. I'm talking about the connection that I'm choosing to build with him. Now, who somebody has attraction to, we're grown enough to know that was not a choice. But y'all do that to delegitimize somebody's story and take them out of what you know rightfully is theirs. They have the right to be a part of this Black conversation, and y'all try to pluck them out because you don't like what they have been born to be. You try to silence me and take me out because of what you assume I am. And you hope that it hurts me. You hope that it stops me. And it doesn't. I've made it this far because I am who I am. And I never gave a fuck. I'm going to talk this way, act this way, dress this way, navigate this way. And it's worked for me. And as uncomfortable as it is, the real reason why a lot of you are homophobic is because you are hurt by the fact that society lied to you and society made you feel like you had to perform to be great. And you are watching gay people and trans people every single day be great in their truth. You thought for you as a man, you had to straighten up. You had to be a certain way. You couldn't act a certain way. You couldn't dress a certain way. You couldn't be around certain people. And that was going to be the formula for you winning. But actually, you have failed the whole way through. And then here you go watching a flamboyant dude with nails and makeup have success, have money, have fame, have notoriety. It never worked for you when you played the game, but he's playing the game that he wants to play, and it's working for him every single day. That's really why you got pressure in your heart. You thought you had to act a certain way to be a success. And you have examples of people every single day who are successful being authentic, but you feel it's too late for you. No, come out the shadow. As long as you have life, you have time left. That be a lot of the issue. You have spent your life not living as you are. And it angers you to see other people doing it and doing it well. Do you realize how many times people try to get this energy out of me? The side conversations from friends and family, the remarks from people about my voice, the remarks from people about my mannerism, the remarks from people about the way in which I navigate through the world. Some of them I heard, some of them I was told about. They hoped that I would submit to the stereotype. They hoped that I would be the cliche. They hoped that I would assimilate. But I've always known that if I don't live as I am, I'm not living at all. And I promise you one thing for sure. When the curtains draw and I take my last breath and I'm returned, I'm going to live, and you're going to know that I did that. There's something that I want you to take away from this episode if you don't take away nothing else. When people talk about sexuality, especially as it pertains to those who identify as gay or lesbian or, pansexual, all the alphabets that is there. There are some Bible thumpers who talk about how that lifestyle is an abomination. That is a term that goes around, that it is an abomination. Like I told you, I'm dedicated in my relationship with God. And it was in a holy book that God had already told me. It is an abomination to incite division amongst the brethren. While you are sitting around throwing out hate, while you are sitting around being violent, while you are sitting around being sinful in every capacity of your life, you have to understand lying is a sin. Adultery is a sin. You're leaving church and going to a seafood boil, not realizing that eating shellfish is considered a sin. Mixing linens with wool is considered a sin. But it seems to be that the only sin you seem to highlight is the one of sexuality. I want you to know that the biggest sin you could ever commit is to incite division amongst the brethren. So I want you to let God be God and stop trying to act like you're him. And the next time you see something that you don't like, keep your nasty comments to yourself. There's no reason to get involved. There's no reason to say nothing. There's no reason to be violent. I want you to go back to the old way that our grandmother used to do. God bless their heart, and keep it pushing. It is a sin to incite division amongst the brethren. You are dividing community, and that is a disgrace amongst itself. I want us to get it together. I want us to be together. I want us to be whole as a community. And we are in these shackles that you have placed upon yourself because you're concerned about things that simply have nothing to do with you. It is a disgrace, an abomination to incite division amongst the brethren. There's some of you that don't like me, and you don't like me for a very clear reason. You're inciting division amongst the brethren. There's some of you who won't be friends with particular reasons, friends with particular people for blatant out reasons. You're inciting division amongst the brethren. It's an abomination. I want you to know something a little bit about my life. I told you I went to church a lot. I grew up in the church. And when I went to church with my aunt. God rest her soul. She was one of my favorite people. If y'all want to know where this fashion sense come from, it came from that queen, baby. It came from that queen who would go to church with a full tuxedo on, a good stack of jewelry, a Tom Ford watch, cologne sprayed down from head to toe. You could smell her before she had came to your door. And she was lesbian. And we were at church every Sunday at 11 a.m. We sat at the same seat. People knew not to sit there. I kid you not. If we were not there, that spot was empty waiting for our arrival. I kid you not. They knew not to sit there. She was in relationship with God. You were liable to see her running through the aisles of the church if something hit her well enough. It didn't matter where she went, she had her Bible in her hand. She was dedicated to that lifestyle. And what I always admired about her, and what I missed about her most, is that she was her authentically despite the optics. She understood the thought process when she walked into the room. She understood the assumptions when she walked into the room. She understood that there might have been some churchgoers who looked at her sideways when she sat in her seat. But she also understood that she was made in God's image. That image is not distorted. She was understood that God was to fight her battles, so she was not going to fight the hatred. She understood that when God be for you, who and what can be against you? Nobody's words, nobody's actions, nobody's hatred, nobody's homophobia. She understood the blood still works, even when somebody wanted bloodshed for the mere fact that she was gay. That is the difference between those who are in relationship with God and don't know him just for the greatest hits, and those who are in relationship with him and truly dedicated to him when the days are good and also when the days are bad. I go in certain areas understanding that people want it out from me. But even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear what? No evil. Even though I get around folks who really don't like me, especially as we enter this new administration, I fully understand no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And the weaponry just does not have to do with a physical piece. The weaponry has to do with the hatred. The weaponry has to do with the commentary. The weaponry has to do with the folks who want to take opportunities away from me because of who I am. The weaponry has to do with the very people who don't think I should exist anymore because I live in truth and honesty. The weaponry comes from the very people who want to snatch life away from me because they don't think I should have a life for the mere fact of the life that I choose to live. Those people, it just won't be formed against me. It shall not prosper. It does not hurt me. I pity you. I pity you for thinking the way that you do. And the reason why I have not talked about this, and the reason why I don't talk about this, and the reason why I'm not giving you real deep detail into my life like that, is because it don't make sense to me. It never made sense to me that we live in a world where someone hates me and does not want me around because of the color of my skin. It never made sense to me that there's someone out there that doesn't think that I deserve rights, that doesn't think that I deserve my life, that doesn't think I deserve opportunities because of my hue. The same way it doesn't make sense to me that you could hate somebody because of who they love. I could never understand that. I hope you understand that. That is what life is about, love. It's about experiencing it. It's about feeling it. It's about knowing it. It's about being able to identify it. And I hope that one day we all get the privilege of knowing what it really is about and how wonderful it truly is. And the idea that we could have such a disdain for somebody because they found it is something that I could never understand, and I try not to discuss things that I know nothing about. When I go on the phone and I scream at y'all, I'm talking about what I know. When it comes to this, I just don't know it because I don't understand it. I just don't get it. I just can't conceptualize it. And there's a particular level of homophobia specifically within Black women. And I've wrestled with trying to understand what it was about. And then I realized it the other day. And I'm not going to hold your hand when I say this because you don't want to hold my hand anyway. But please know that it's manicured. Do you see how gorgeous my nails are? Yes, my hands are manicured. You know I got me on a clear pink you know I got me on a clear pink gel coat. I'm not going to hold your hand while I say this because you don't want to hold my hand any goddamn way. But I realized that a lot of that has to do, and what's interesting is that, you know, with all the homophobia that goes on in the world, sometimes the most successful in terms of education, in terms of finances and lifestyle and opportunities are oftentimes Black gay men, not Black straight men. And when we believe that there is a scarcity of good black men around, and the good black men that are around so happen to oftentimes seem gay, I think there's an internalized anger towards gayness and gay men because you believe that they chose to be with another man and didn't choose to be with you. And there's an internalized rage because why wouldn't you choose me? I can be wifey. Why wouldn't you choose me? I could have been the mother of the children. Why wouldn't you choose me? We could have built this home together. There's so many children around who are mom and fatherless. You know, you could have came over here, but you chose to do that. You could have been over here, but you chose to be over there. There's something weird about that to you. There's something questionable about that to you. There's something gross about that to you because you are scarce of good men and the good man wants another good man. Can I put you on to some information? There are good men around that meet the very qualifications that you have set. And that gay man that you have a crush on has absolutely nothing to do with you struggling to find him. And please understand that that good man wanting another good man is biology, is not a lifestyle choice. I also got to say this too, to the homophobic men that are around. I want you to understand something plain and simple too. I hear this thing a lot of like, oh, women don't choose, like the women never choose the good guy. Women never choose the good guy. And I want you to understand something. You might just not be the good guy for her. Sometimes it just be that simple. You know, we do this whole narrative, oh, you never choose the good guy. You always want the bad guy. No, maybe you're just not a good guy for her. You're not the good guy for her. You're not the good guy for her. And we take it out on these outside entities. And sometimes we take it out on the very people who are not in competition with you, like that man who wants another good man. Who wants what she want? I don't know. My thoughts are so jumbled and I feel, I feel slightly all over the place. I know that I always bring it back together because I know how to talk. But my thoughts, I think, are jumbled. And, I said this about the last few episodes, but I think I'm getting more and more vulnerable and open on this podcast. And so every episode that I sit alone feels like more and more of a complicated conversation and a sensitive conversation and a difficult conversation because I'm being real and open and honest. But this episode is difficult for me because, like I said, it's something I just don't understand. And the only reason that I'm talking about it is because it has its moments where it almost feel like it's an elephant in the room. And it's not an elephant for me. It's an elephant for some of you. And for some reason, it's at the forefront of your mind. And for some reason, it matters to you. And for some reason, it's difficult for you to listen to me and consume me because you want to have an answer to something. Or you want confirmation on something, or you want an explanation on something that is extremely irrelevant to anything that I ever talk about. I don't talk about sexuality. I don't talk about sex. I don't talk about those topics because genuinely at the core, it doesn't matter to me. I have come to terms with the idea, and this might offend some of the people that I'm dating. I've accepted the idea that my purpose on earth might not be ever having love, but making sure that other people find it. I've come to terms with the idea that my purpose on earth might not be me being in love and having my forever person, but allowing what I've been through in my stories and my mindset and my words be the thing that guides somebody to find the type of love that they are destined for. And I'm okay with the idea that I live a life where maybe I am solo dolo. That doesn't sadden me. I accept that. I accept the idea that maybe I will never get married, maybe I will never have love. And I don't say these things to be pessimistic, I don't say these things to be pitied. And I don't say these things in the idea that I'm pushing these things away. I accept everything. I just told you I'm dating. So I accept what comes into my life, but I also accept that it may not happen for me. And so I don't talk about the topic much when it pertains to me because I'm in full understanding that I don't have my person, and that's okay. And I haven't found my person, and that's also okay. And I might never have that person, and that too is okay. But what I'm not okay with is y'all having this instinct of thinking that who someone loves and bringing it up is a form of an insult, but is also a thing that makes them worth not having it. And I promise you that we are all deserving of it, whether you are straight, whether you are gay, whether you are bi, whether you are lesbian, whether you are, what is all this stuff, pansexual, sapiosexual. There's so many things in that alphabet. But we're all worth it. I told you, love is everything. And I want us to have everything the way that we want it. I know that the question is never going to stop. And if you have any common sense, the question doesn't need to be addressed. If you have any common sense, I don't need to entertain it. And if you know me personally, I definitely don't need to entertain it. Many of you have bumped into me while I was on a date who was on the other side of the table. I have made content before talking about one relationship. Who was I in discussion about? I don't educate. It's just be silly. And I don't want y'all using these type of comments and conversations in order to delegitimize someone's story and someone's contribution to a greater conversation because you don't think that the love that they share for other people aligns with your own. We're much more alike than we are different. But I guess one of our greatest differences can be is I love folks despite who they love, and some of you don't have that same story. So I guess that could be our greatest difference. And this doesn't completely, I don't think this really completely applies to my community. I think if you watch me, there isn't a way that you have that big of a bone in your body. But I also do make a lot of religious content. And so there is a subset of you that I think pushes things away, or you think, oh, it don't apply. I've gotten some comments from y'all who have said some stupid shit to me. This man emailed me. Do I care to talk about this? Because I'm finna get out of here, actually. I'm over this topic. I'll be honest, I'm over it. I'm not going to discuss it anymore, so I'm finna just end the episode. But I have to tell you about this one email that I'm going to go. This man emails me pertaining to a video where I said, I just got off the phone with God. I don't have to tell you the rest of the video because that preface is enough for you. In a video where I said, I just got off the phone with God. Do you know this man messaged me to say to me, I'm just curious about, I'm curious about you being gay and, how do you do that? And how do you live like that? How do you have that life and all this stuff? And I'm reading it. And I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember really his exact words. But I read it and I said to myself, I said, first of all, what's interesting to me about a lot of you is you claim to love God so much, but then you are so quick to change the subject from being about him to being about man. When you really love him as much as you claim that you love him, you want to focus on him only because he's just been that good. You want to focus on him only because he's just been that merciful. You want to focus on him only because he's just been that great. But what I've noticed about a lot of you is y'all really are not focused on him for real. Y'all use him as a segue to focus on man. So we're having a conversation about God, and you have veered the conversation off of God to talk about me. And you are now using me as an example, as a way for you to kind of insult and shade me and make me feel a way about me instead of focusing on God. If you want to be real shady for real, I want you to just simply say, God bless you. If you want to be shady for real, I want you to really say, I hope God continues to protect you and lead you in different direction. I want you to have it focused on him. You can't for real be in relationship with him and be quick to change him from being the subject matter at hand. We're talking about God here. And you sitting around trying to spin the conversation about me to talk about who I sleep with. It's irrelevant. And it won't be entertained. That be my issue with y'all. You love God so much. You Bible thump all day. You love him. He's so great. But instead of focusing on him, you focusing on man. Instead of trying to pull people closer to him by talking about him, you shutting them people away by insulting the very people that you think should be closer in relationship. It don't add up. Let me go. Turn the lights off in the studio. Turn off the cameras. I'm ready to go. I'm done. I need another drink. I need, he made water into wine. I need another glass of wine. He made water into wine. I'm done here. I'm not going to talk about this anymore. I'm not going to discuss this topic anymore. It's going to come up again, I'm sure, but it's going to come up with other people. And when I talk about it, I'm going to talk about it as it pertains to other people, but I'm not going to talk about it as it pertains to me anymore until we get into a place in the world where we can accept people for who they are, love people for real, let people be who they are for real, let people be in relationship with who they want to be with. Until we get there, I will never entertain this conversation. And unfortunately, we'll never get there in my lifetime, so I won't entertain it in my lifetime. Because I know what y'all ask for. And you're not asking because you want to be closer with me. You're not asking because you really are interested in my life. You're not asking because you care about me and you want to know who I love on. You're asking because you want to use it as an example to make me hate myself. It won't work. What I've come to realize about the world, what I've come to realize about sexism, about homophobia, about ageism, about racism, about classism. What I've come to realize about all these things is that these things exist because we live in a world that wants you to believe that you should hate what people say you should hate about yourself. And it makes you uncomfortable to watch people love themselves over the things that you think they should not love about themselves. It makes you uncomfortable to watch a gay person love that they are gay when you think they should not love it at all. It makes you hate that a black person is proud to be black because you don't think they should have pride in it. It makes you hate the fact that an older person can be proud of the fact that they're aging because you've been made to believe that aging is a sad thing. You don't believe that anybody should be proud of who they are, even if they are poor. That's something to have shame about. It's something uncomfortable about people navigating proudly and what you have been made to believe they should not be proud of. I won't fall victim to that. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. I won't entertain this conversation anymore. I promise you that. So let me go. Because I got a date with my yeah. And That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have me some wine. I'm going to have me a good piece of steak. I'm going to have me a good potato. I'm going to have me a little of asparagus. And because I am such a king who balances my masculine and feminine energy, when the bill hits the table, please know that I'm the one who paid for it. Clock that. Please make sure that you like. Please make sure that you subscribe. Please make sure that you rate the podcast. Please make sure that you share. Please make sure that you let people know that we are here. And like I always say to you, and I'm going to say it forevermore as long as we are in existence, I don't want you to fret about what I say, but I do want you to think about it. And when it comes to this subject, I want you to think long and hard and tread very lightly the next time you say some stupid shit to me in a comment. I want you to think real long and real hard about it. Because now that I've already kind of touched on what I felt like touching on, at this point now when I see it, I'm just gonna clap back at your ass. And you're not gonna like my response when I give it to you. Because you know when it comes to my words, I'm an assassin. When it comes to my vocabulary, I'm an assassin. So please don't try it. And Alex, sorry, bro, I'm speaking to my producer right now, and we're not going to cut this out. Alex, gather them up in the YouTube. If they try to gather them up. Please don't block them, because I want all the engagement. That's what y'all fail to realize. Even when you spread hate, you're helping me. I go up higher in engagement. You're sitting around hoping that people don't see me because you don't like that flamboyant shit. You're helping me grow in my career. Thank you. I get more brand deal through the hate. I thank you. I get more seen through the hate. I thank you. So Alex, please flag those comments to me so I can respond. Cause I'm gonna have a lot of free time during the holidays. You know, I ain't buying nobody no gifts. I buy my own gifts. I ain't buying nobody no gifts. And all my gifts is in my palace. So I'll be up in the bed, laid up, because you know I lay it with my feet up. And I'm definitely going to respond because I will have some free time while I'm laid up in the bed with my bonnet on. Like I said, I love y'all. I thank y'all for watching. I'm not addressing it no more. And like I said, I don't want you to fret about what I say, but I do want you to think about it long and hard. Long and hard. I love y'all. See y'all again. Bye.